representatives for Amanda Abbington have hit back at claims from her former Strictly partner, Giovanni Pernice, that he felt unsafe during training. They said that Giovanni's claim that everything in the rehearsal room worked perfectly is false and delusional. He was speaking on Lorraine's show yesterday, and Giovanni said he was glad that the more serious allegations of threatening or abusive behaviour were thrown out. Christine, who's standing in for Lorraine, went on to ask him if he would consider returning to the show.
Strong.
Will we see you back at Strictly Come Dancing here?
I think at the moment I'm just very, very focused on Dancing with the Stars in Italy. I've got a tour coming up in January, so I would definitely come back in the UK. I've got a tour coming from January to July. And then, who knows? Never say never.
Never say never. So, question is, would you like to see him back on the show? I mean, I know you're a massive Strictly fan, Colleen, so am I.
Yeah.
I think he should be back on the show.
Well, listen, for me, it's all a bit he said, she said for me. And I'm getting kind of like... And now I feel like it's been dealt with, and he was instantly not on this, you know, this current series. It's all gone off. It's all been kind of investigated and sorted out, whatever way they want it sorted out. And so I think now, clean slate, move on, you know. So if next year he wants to come back, I think he should be allowed.
I mean, Kerry, the BBC did apologise to Amanda. They did uphold some of her complaints against Giovanni, but they cleared him of the more serious allegations. So I think most of us thought, well, that's done now.
Yeah.
What happens now? What happens now? You know, but
I think
people are still talking
I think it was
about
important that Amanda was given a voice,
Yeah.
And that she was heard, and that her concerns were listened to and taken seriously. I think that part of it was important for her and for other women that may want to, contestants that may want to take part. So I think the due process was followed, it was thoroughly investigated, and new procedures have been put in place to make sure that any future female contestants feel like they're safe within the rehearsal space, because they've now got chaperones within the rooms, and it's really nice. I don't know anyone else, I'm a massive fan of the show, but it's nice to see the glimpse of them as well on a Saturday night. You can see the chaperone in the room, just making sure that everything is running as it should do. So, therefore, I feel like everything's been covered. Amanda's voice has been heard, and that's what's important.
So would you be fine if he came back to Strictly next year, say?
Yes, I would, because the parameters have now changed.
Yeah. Well, our audience seem to be keen to see him back. Mariella, are you even to watch the show?
I don't know why you're asking me. I think I've only watched Strictly once in my life. I do wonder a bit about, you know, making a light entertainment programme on a Saturday night then when you need chaperones in rehearsal rooms, and I just wonder what kind of a state the world's getting to, you know, when there's thousands of people dying in one part of the world and we need chaperones in a dance rehearsal studio. So that aside, though, I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I don't really care. I think if he's been cleared of what were serious allegations at the time, then why should he not be back on the show? That's the whole point, isn't it? You're sort of innocent till proved guilty, and if you're not proved guilty...
he's spoken out on the
He probably wants to have his voice heard, doesn't he?
Because yeah, I think Amanda did several TV shows, didn't she? And he hadn't spoken publicly. So I think it's back in the headlines again because he spoke publicly for the first time. So maybe now it will be put to bed.
But it is a competition, isn't it? And competitions get quite fierce. That's the whole point of a competition, and, you know, tactics, and people don't necessarily behave at their best when they're competing. So I do think we have to look at it kind of sensibly as well, and not turn a teacup into a storm, if you can do it that way around.
Yeah.
Storm into a teacup.
We know what you mean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, don't you?
I think they've both of them have a lot of supporters.
Yeah.
So it's going back to who you support the most, and it's still that, well, he said this and she said that, but it's done. So let's move on.
But I think, as Kelly said, they've both had their say. The BBC had listened to her. Investigations happened, but they've never actually really, I don't think, ever gone public with the findings. They just said that some things were upheld, some weren't. So I think it's good that they've had to put things in place now. But hopefully this won't happen to anybody, contestant or professional dancer, again on Strictly. Because so many of us love the show and we don't want to think anything like that is going on.